Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm JD and yeah, this is my channel. I'm here. It's 2023. I made it. I wanted to get a video out last week and I actually filmed like 2 vlogs and just they didn't sit right with me. I didn't want to edit them. So I'm gonna try this again and here we go. Today I want to talk about 2023 and my goals for this year and kind of do a little bit of a planner lineup. I have a very look how small that stack is. I have a very small stack of planners this year. And I am using some online tools as well to help me out this year, but really, that is it. That is it. So I'm excited, but let's get started. So 2023, I guess to kind of figure out where I'm coming from, I have to kind of go into 2022. And I talked about that, I think a little bit in my last video of kind of like where I've been and what's been going on. So, you know, my writing went pretty well last year. Like I made progress with stuff, but I did not finish anything. So a big goal of mine this year is I would like to at least finish one of my major projects. Another big goal is health-wise. I want to continue to focus on my health and to get it where I can work out consistently without any repercussions on myself. I don't know if that really is the greatest goal, but I want to find, I don't know if that's the best way to phrase it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I want to continue to work on bringing my inflammation levels down through a healthy diet and finding movement that I love, that my body can tolerate, and to continue to work with my doctors to figure out everything that is going on and the best way to move forward with all that. Okay. What else? I also, a lot of that, I guess, with the health stuff and whatnot, really plays into my routines and how I'm showing up every day for myself. So while I've gotten a great start on those kind of things the past week, the first week here of 2023, I have not been making great progress with writing so far. I'll put it that way. So some of my goals this year for writing is I want to continue to write for Medium. I really enjoy the Medium platform and reading articles there, so I feel like writing there is a no-brainer. So I really enjoy writing on things like the behind the scenes of the writing stuff and the author life, but also on organization and mental health and neurodiversity, as well as chronic illness and just kind of how that all affects me as a mom and a writer and an entrepreneur here in the US, I guess is the best way to put that. So I've been kind of working on those. My goal is to write at least 3 Medium articles a week. I got 3 out last week. I think I'm only going to get 2 out this week, but that's okay. It's okay. Progress, not perfection. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'd like to get at least 1 vlog out, but a week, but week 2, here we are. This is the first vlog, so I don't know. Again, I'm striving for that progress and not perfection. So I'm not going to beat myself up if I miss a few vlogs. And like I said in my last video, I'm not setting any promises out there. I just genuinely miss creating content for YouTube and blogging, and so I'm going to try my best to come back. Let's talk about planners. Like I said, I have 3 here. 3. And they're not even actual planners. I'm just looking at them now, I realize they are just notebooks. So I guess I will start with the big one first, and then I will talk about these 2 here in a minute. But this is a Electrum 1917, and I don't even know what color this is, but I have a bunch of these in different colors. I like to get them in all the different colors. If I see a color I like, I usually go ahead and pick it up because I consistently use these notebooks. I have been using these since 2017, off and on. And what I found is, even though I will try other planners, like ones that are already pre-printed or ones that I print out, like Erin Condren or the Happy Planner or the HB90 Planner or the Passion Planner. I don't know if I said that one already, but yeah, so even though I have tried those and I like them to some extent, I always find that they're too structured, I think, for me. So I always end up coming back to a plain notebook. So I am going to lean into that this year, and I am going to try to make it through a complete year without deviating, I guess, from my bullet journal. What I really like about bullet journaling is that I can do whatever I want in it. I can change it up. If I am really focused on my health one week, I can focus my spreads and my daily spreads on that health, or I can focus it on my writing like I did with NaNoWriMo last year. So I just love how versatile I can make bullet journals. I have a couple of like go-to spreads that I use for weeklies and my dailies, but I also don't like to get too far into future planning, so I really just kind of create them as I go, with the sole exception being the beginning of the month when I set up a habit tracker and a monthly spread. But saying my habit tracker, I am not always the best at filling out my habit tracker. I'm trying to get better at it. A big thing for me is to fill out my habit tracker as I go instead of waiting until the end of the day, because a lot of times if I wait till the end of the day, I will either forget to do it and then I can't remember what I actually did the day before, or I'll forget about it, and then I'll forget about it for the next like 3 days, 3 weeks, until it's like the end of the month. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't fill that out very much. Well, did I? So I try to stay away from the habit trackers, but all in here, I like decorating the outside with stickers, and these are stickers I collect like throughout the month. So I'm always picking up stickers. It tends to be like the go-to thing I buy for like souvenirs, or if I go to a concert, or if I'm at a store like Plant Cakes. I recently picked this sticker up when I went to the donut shop recently here at home. But so I will do that, and then I kind of decorate the outside. And then I also try to leave room on the spine and the front somewhere to put my archival stickers. Here, let me show you real quick. Oh, actually, I've got one right here. Look. So this was the last one I had from November and December of 2022. So I tend to get 1 to 2 months. If I'm really like using my bullet journal a lot, I will use it in like I'll get about 2 months in here. Otherwise, it's like 3 to 6 months sometimes if I'm kind of in and out of it. But like you see, I've got a bunch of stickers. I've got a bunch of nano stickers on here. These were both some of the nano stickers from this past 2022 November. This was the donation sticker. And then I have my nano RDU sticker. But these were other stickers I collected. And then I have my archival stickers here on the side. So I number each bullet journal so that way when I am transcribing notes from this into my computer documents, or if I reference something, it's like it's in the orange bullet journal number 9, and I can easily pull it up. And these, what I love about this particular notebook is not only is it dot grid, I don't know how well that comes out, but they are also already have the page numbers on there. So I can, like, as long as I haven't covered the page numbers up with washi tape, which I do find I've done occasionally, I will say I wrote, like here, I wrote 183 words, and it's on page 42 of my bullet journal number 9. So that way I can reference it and pull it out from my shelf. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like bullet journaling so much. It just gives me this freedom to kind of express what I need when I need it. I will journal a lot in those, or I will put my daily to-do lists, or if I'm planning like Thanksgiving dinner, I can plan out the meal and what everybody needs to bring and what I need to buy and stuff like that. And I can easily create the spreads as I go. So that is my main planner for this year. And maybe I keep a lot of personal notes in here, so I don't, that was, I think, part of my problem with the second video with the second video I filmed. I had tried to do a little bit of a flip through of this, but I was finding that I was like having to block off whole pages of like health information and other notes and things I didn't want to share. So if you're interested in seeing some of my spreads, let me know. I will see what I can do about sharing them if that's something you guys want to see. I also have a Etsy shop where I am recreating some of my favorite spreads and habit trackers and things that I use quite often, like a sleep tracker and my reading trackers and stuff like that. And I have them up for sale in my Etsy shop where you can then download and print them for your own bullet journal or to have in your digital a digital notebook or something like that. So I do have that. That's linked below, but that is what I have here. And like I said, if you're interested in seeing some of my spreads, let me know. And maybe I could do a video on setting up my next one. So that way that'd be before I put all that sensitive information in there. So my next journal for 2023 is my reading journal. My reading journal. I have tried a bunch of different reading trackers. I've tried Goodreads before. I did not like it. It got really cluttered, and I have a really hard time just processing what I've read and finding the books. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's not that it doesn't work, because I find a lot of good books that seem interesting on Goodreads, but the aesthetics of the website bother me to the point where I have a really hard time concentrating on organizing what books I've read and what books I want to read, even though there's lists, and it's just, the website is not for me. So I know one year I had another journal like this, similar to this, that I was just writing titles in as I finished them. One year I tried to do a Notion page in my Notion archive system thing, to track the books I was reading. That just lasted about 6 months. um, and then at the end of last year, I just was not tracking what books I was reading, which just kind of made me a little sad. So I'm not entirely sure how many books I read last year, and that's okay. I enjoyed a lot of what I read, and I read more than I thought I would. So, but this year I'm starting fresh. I have a hard copy of my reading journal. This was a notebook I pulled off the back of my bookshelf because I'm trying to also not spend money this year. So we'll see how that works. So like I said, I pulled this off. I actually had not. It was still wrapped in plastic. So when I pulled it out of the plastic, I was very shocked to feel like how soft. I love the texture. It's almost got this like a very soft, supple leather kind of texture, but it's not leather. I don't know what exactly to describe it as, but this notebook I got from Erin Condren years ago, and it's one of their on the go take note notebooks. And this is the only like downside. It's like I loved the cover, the outside, but it is a lined, not dot grid, like I prefer. But I figured for this project it'd probably be okay because I'm doing a lot of principles that I printed out. Here's the title page. I should probably do this in a flat lay, but I just printed out and I trimmed my page to fit, and I used double-sided glue tape and washi tape to get it fixed in here. But I figured I would try this and see how it goes. So far, I've only finished one book, but I'm like reading 3 others at the moment. So that's just what I do. I read like a whole bunch of different books at once, and I just finish them when I finish them. I have not updated my tracker yet, but I do need to go back through and update my tracker. But the way I set this up, I think I will actually have a couple of years worth of reading in here. But my reading goal for this year is to read every day. So I have an everyday tracker, daily reading tracker here where I fill in, I just color in the box on the days that I've read. I also have a similar tracker in my habit tracker in my bullet journal that just tracks whether or not I've done my nonfiction reading for the day and my fiction reading for the day, because I want to be getting to both of them. I'm finding that some days I'm only getting to one or the other. So that's how life is. But if I'm reading at least something a day, I'm happy about that. And then what I'm doing, I'll show you February here. So I printed out a month where I can kind of track when I start a book and when I finish a book. So I can kind of draw lines, and I'll color code them for each book that I have. I have here a little hashtag # where I'm numbering the books as I finish them. I write the title and the author here on the blank line, and then I fill in how many stars I've given it, and then whether I listen to it on Audible, like an Audible audiobook, or read it on my Kindle, or read a physical paper hardback copy. So, and then I printed one of those out for each of my, for each month, and kind of decorated it with some washi and whatnot. And then I figured at the end of the year, I'll do a wrap up post about like how many books I read, how many were nonfiction, how many were fiction, how many were audiobooks, how many were ebooks, kind of that kind of thing, and just kind of keep track of it on here and see how many books in total that I read. So that's fun. I think it'll go well. Overall, I am doing a couple of different, a few other reading challenges. I want to try and get through at least 1 or 2 nonfiction books a month as well. I want to try to read more of the books I have on my bookshelf that I haven't read. So I am trying to pull 1 or 2 books off my shelf a month to read. Otherwise, I'm trying to get either use my Kindle Unlimited library or use my actual library. Then I have one other challenge that I am going to do this year when it comes to reading, and that is reading more American classics. Now, I was overseas. I was living overseas at that point of my high school, middle school education where you get introduced to a lot of the American classics. I can remember only a few classics that I read after I came back to the States, and that was, I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure of Mice and Men I read by John Steinbeck. I've read, I can read I can remember a few others. I know, like The Great Gatsby I've read. Their Eyes Were Watching God I read in college. I remember that one. So that being said, like that tells you right there just how limited my knowledge of American like classic fiction is. I don't like, I know I haven't read like To Kill a Mockingbird or Fahrenheit 451 or a bunch of others. So I am making it a challenge for myself this year to read at least one American classic each month, and to kind of do like a little review of that book and the other books I've read, and make it a Medium post on my Medium. So if you guys are interested, I can do like a little video wrap up, but again, I don't know if that's something you guys would be interested in watching here on my channel. So, but that being said, I did say that my first book, I did mention this one, Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I thought, when I was looking through which American classic I wanted to start with, I really liked the blurb on this one. It just seemed really intriguing. I'll read the back of it. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it, but in case you're not, it says Ray Montag is a fireman, and his job is to destroy the most illegal of commodities, the printed book, along with the houses in which they are hidden. Montag never questions the destruction and ruin his actions produce, returning each day to his bland life and wife Mildred, who spends all day with her television family. But when he meets an eccentric young neighbor, Clarice, who introduces him to a past where people didn't live in fear, and to a present where one sees the world through the ideas in books instead of mindless chatter of television, Montag begins to question everything he has ever known. So I thought that one was pretty cool. I know this particular book has an introduction by Neil Gaiman, which sounds awesome as well to read. I've really gotten into some of Neil Gaiman's stuff. I particularly really liked The Sandman, so I am trying to find that comic to read as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing for reading this year. My big reading goals and whatnot. Now, I know I've talked about a Medium a little bit, but going on to my next and last notebook, it is a notebook for Medium. I promise Medium is not a sponsor of this video. It's been on my head and my brain a lot to be thinking about Medium and articles for Medium. And so this is just another plain notebook. It is, you can't even see, the dot grid is so faint on these pages, but it's just a spiral bound dot grid notebook that I got off of Amazon. It may have even been like the Amazon Basics brand. I don't know. They've got a pretty hard cover, but stickers do not stick well to this plastic, I've noticed. At least the few that I've tried to put on here. And I'm just using this to outline and draft and brainstorm article ideas for Medium. So, but I have been using this almost every day, so that's why I'm counting it in my lineup. So I have that, and that's what I've really been using so far. I do have a couple other planners, but like that I had bought early, what was it, like July, August, when the new planners come out for the school year. One is a happy planner, one is a Erin Condren, and I bought them with good hopes and good intentions. I started using them for those intended purposes that I bought them for, and then I just did not use them again. And I've tried a couple of times over the last 6 months, I guess, 5-6 months, to reuse them, repurpose them for something, and it just has not been happening. So I am still trying to figure out what to do with those. I have, like I said, one is a classic happy planner. I have them right here actually on my shelf. And I just loved, this one still has sticky stuff on the cover, but it says wild and beautiful, and it's this beautiful black and gold design, and a lot of the inside is like this grayscale black and white basically pages, and it's vertical planner, and I like it. I just don't know what I'm going to use it for. And then also I had, like I said, I had another one. This is the Erin Condren. This one is pretty. I saw this one and I couldn't pass it up because it was so pretty. It's got this really pretty rose gold coil. It's got rose gold foil in the cover. And it's just got these really pretty floral designs in them. But this one is an hourly vertical planner. And my thought for this one was I would use it as a content planner. And I tried that. It did not work. I was finding that I was not going to it when I needed to look at for content. So I have been actually using a online tool, Asana, for content planning so far, and I really like that one. I like that I can set due dates for tasks as well as projects and stuff for that. So that's where a bulk of my content planning has been. So I don't know what I'm going to use that Erin Condren notebook for, which kind of sucks because it's so pretty and I love it. I've even got that really nice soft cover for it. And I just it's just sitting on my shelf because I don't use it. That is like the bane of my existence right now, is just having too many things in my office. So I'm doing a different challenge right now called the Minimalism game, which hopefully there will be another video about later. But the clutter bothers me. If I have to move stuff to get to something else I need, there's too much. It's too much. And so I've been slowly just decluttering and getting rid of stuff and trying to not buy as much stuff. And that's been the hard part. It's like I could declutter all I want, but if I'm not fixing how that clutter comes into my home first, then I'm not getting anywhere. So I am being very conscious about what I buy, not only to save money and to plan for more exciting things in the future that my family and I want to do. I am trying to be very conscious. Like, if I am buying this, it's got a clear purpose, it's got a clear home in my house, and I can easily easily afford it without putting it on a credit card. So that's just another one of those goals for the year. But we'll see what happens, right? Life tends to have its own little ideas about what's going to happen. So anyway, that is my 2023 planner lineup and goals and kind of mishmash of getting things started this year. For planning systems, I know I've talked about the HB90 planning system in the past. I've tried other kinds of planning systems, not having a plan, just kind of going by the seat of my pants. This year, I think I'm going to try monthly planning. And so I don't feel confident in my health and life stuff going on right now to plan for 3 months in advance and have a clear-cut goal of this is what I want to focus on for the next 3 months, because usually by 3 weeks in, that is completely changed. So I'm going month by month, and I'm setting clear goals in the different categories: my health, my home. So for like the decluttering and cleaning and home maintenance and home projects, I'm setting goals in my writing and my social media, as well as for NaNoWriMo, because I am an ML. I have other responsibilities out during the off season, as we call it. So there is stuff to do there as well. So I am trying to do that, and then on a weekly basis going back and reviewing, okay, what progress did I make on those goals each week? If I'm falling behind on one, what can I do to get in a better place? Or going into my next week's planning with an active and clear not goal, but clear picture of what I need to do to make progress on those goals if I did not make progress on them the previous week. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, I love y'all. Y'all are awesome. Keep on going. And I will catch you guys next time. I hope you've had a great week so far, 2 weeks, great beginning of 2023. A great beginning of 2023, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Peace, love, and happy writing, y'all.